welcome friends, and thank you for joining me here in my kitchen again today. I am Catherine, and my channels are Cook from the Past and Homestead in the Woods, and I am going to post this video on both because what I'm talking about today has a lot to do with homesteading and making the most of what you have to be able to eat well. And also Cook from the Past has a lot to do with frugal cooking, and that's certainly what I'm talking about today. So I know, and excuse my dog barking out there, she's probably spotted a squirrel. So the reason I'm doing this is the prices of food have gotten so high now that it's really being a problem for families to try and put food on the table. So I wanted to share some of the techniques that I use when I go shopping. And I know there's a lot of advice that says look at the flyers and the advertisements and plan your meals for the week before you go shopping. But I usually don't do that, and that is because many times there are really, really good deals that you're going to find at the grocery store that are not listed in the weekly flyer. So I'm going to show you some of those right now that I got today. And I'm also going to show you just some images with the price stickers on of other items that I purchased recently at the grocery store on clearance for ridiculously low prices. So the first thing I'm going to show you today is Amish Country Poultry brand. And it is chicken breasts with the bone in and skin on. And I'm going to put this up close so you can actually see the price that I am paying here. $2.32. That is absolutely unheard of. So these are very large chicken breasts. They weigh 2.34 pounds. So over 2 pounds for this package. And it's $2.32. So these are very large, and really it's 4 servings, 4 adult servings. Now, when I talk about adult servings, that is established weight of protein items. It's not what people are used to eating. We all eat servings that are way too big, right? That's why some of us are a little fluffier than others. So 4 servings in a package, and I was actually able to buy 4 of these packages. So that's 8 of these. So that's 8 meals for 4 people. So that's quite a bit. And another thing I wanted to share with you is this ground beef. And this is an 80-20 lean to fat ground beef. And I'm going to hope this package doesn't leak. I'm going to put this up here so you can see the price, $9.52. Now these are manager special, and it's because the expiration date on these packages is like today or tomorrow. And so if you are very careful and very selective about what you choose, and I would take a look at it, is the color right for it? Put it up to your nose before you buy it. Does it have a smell that is not very nice? Those are things you do need to look at before you put it in your cart. But most of the time, these products are perfectly good if you bring them home and cook them right away. Don't expect them to be sitting in your refrigerator for a week. Cook them right away or freeze them. So what I'm doing with these 2 packages of ground beef, and by the way, I got 2 of these. There were more available. I didn't take them all. Leave some for somebody else, right? So I'm going to be making a bulk amount of meatloaf and then separate it into the proper servings for what our household uses. And there's only 2 of us most of the time. So I'm going to be making up several meatloaves, using 1 for tonight. The rest will be in the freezer. And that is going to be a very inexpensive meal. So following this, I'm going to just show some images of some of the other products that I was able to purchase. And I think you will find it very interesting and maybe even a challenge for you to try and shop this way. See what you can get for the clearance prices and then bring it home and decide on a meal. Or maybe you're going to do it while you're at the store. If you're really, think on your feet and you got a good selection of nice clearance items, that's the way to go. So I'm going to go ahead and take care of the meatloaf. I'll come back when I have it separated out into separate meatloafs so we can kind of figure out how much that cost. So stay tuned and we'll get that done. Okay, I've been busy mixing up my meatloaf mixture, and I don't yet know how many meatloaves for 4 servings each meatloaf this is going to make, and I will let you know about that when I get to that point. But this is what's in the bowl. I probably needed a bigger bowl, and I will be getting in there with my hands and mixing it up. But what I have is 6¼ pounds of the 80/20 ground beef, 1 pound of ground turkey, 1 pound of ground pork. I've got 3 cups of bread that I just tore in small pieces. And then I did put the bread in the bowl first, and then I covered it with just enough milk so that everything was absorbing the milk but not swimming in it. And then I added all of the other meat, like I said. Then I added 1/4 cup of Worcestershire sauce, 1 tablespoon of garlic powder, 2 tablespoons of sea salt, 1 tablespoon of black pepper, 1 tablespoon of Italian seasoning, 1¼ cups of ketchup, 7 eggs, and that's large eggs, and then ½ a cup of dehydrated chopped onion. So that is what I'm about to mix up here, and as soon as that's done, I'll show you what that looks like. Okay, here is what the fully mixed meatloaf looks like. It probably took about 5 or 6 minutes of really thoroughly kneading it in the bowl with my hands, and it's really well incorporated. Now, if you want to sneak some veggies in so that you can get your kids to eat a few veggies, please, by all means, do so. And carrots would be a good thing to put in there. Very finely shredded carrots, very finely shredded green beans, any kind of vegetable that you kind of want to sneak in to get your kids to eat vegetables, I'd just go for it. But anyway, this is the basic recipe, and my next chore is going to be to divide it up and see how many meatloaves I get. So this is an example of the meatloaf size that is about right for 4 servings. We're going to have this for our dinner tonight, so we're each going to have 1 serving of meatloaf tonight, and then there will be enough, assuming my husband doesn't go back for seconds, there will be enough for each of us to have a serving tomorrow at lunch. So I measured this out, and it came to 2½ cups of the meat mixture for 4 servings of meatloaf. Okay, I've got all of the meatloaves made up, and this is the one we're going to be using for dinner. Again, this is going to be pretty much 4 servings for us 2 adults, a serving each at our dinner tonight, along with some mashed potatoes and green beans. And then tomorrow we'll have a slice with lunch, probably with some more leftover green beans and mashed potatoes. So it made a total of 9 of these. So you can either, add or subtract. If it's just you, then you're going to have a lot more either leftovers, or you just make smaller meatloaves. You can even make this into meatballs and throw 3 or 4 of those in some spaghetti sauce and toss that with some pasta, and you can have a really wonderful meal. But it made, for 4 servings per meatloaf, it made 9 of them. There's 1 or 2 that are a little smaller and 1 that's significantly bigger. But anyway, I got 9 meatloaves from that. And so I did a little bit of the math, and when you consider the other ingredients that I added to it that were already in my kitchen anyway, so it's not like I went out and bought them today. So adding the other ingredients that I already had in my kitchen, it came to about $3 per meatloaf to feed 4 people a serving. So you can really save a lot of money by doing that. And if you make it into meatballs, especially if you have little kids in the house that maybe won't like the meatloaf, but they'll like the meatballs, then that's the way to go too. And a very cost-saving way to do that. Looking for the really good deals and then planning your meals accordingly around those really good deals. It will save you a lot of money when you can do that, and then add some things you've already got in your kitchen, your spices and that kind of thing. And you can eat very well for a whole lot less money than perhaps you are used to spending, because we all have to start cutting things here these days. The cost of food and gasoline and everything else has gotten ridiculous. And I could get on a little bit of a political bandwagon right now, but I will spare you the grief with that. Anyway, going forward, I am going to share, like I said, some images of other things that I have purchased recently and the prices that I paid, and just to show that you really can do this. So hold on and you'll see some of the other bargains that you can be looking for in your own store. I thought I'd share with you today some of the items that I was able to pick up at our local Walmart recently that were on clearance sale. Now in my store, the clearance sale items in the grocery department are towards the back on an end cap, but they could be pretty much anywhere in your store, but I'm sure that they do have them. And sometimes you do find some really good sales on the shelves and with the other groceries as well. So you never know, but you keep a keen eye out for these sales and you can get some pretty good prices for items that you might use every day. So we've got some Starbucks peppermint mocha coffee, ground coffee for $3, normally $12.48. Some Swiss Miss pumpkin spice hot cocoa mix, an 8-package box for $1, normally $3.95. The Newman's Own Family Recipe Italian dressing, I found that right on the shelf with the other dressings, but this was 64 cents clearance sale right there in the department next to all of the other very expensive dressings. We've got Martha White Brownie Bites for 79 cents. And an adult beverage here that normally goes for about $20. It's been clearance saled several times, and now it's $4.99. I have some pearl sliced olives, and they're marked down to 50 cents. Some Well Yes Italian style wedding soup is 75 cents, normally $2.62. A 27-ounce can of Bush's Best kidney beans. That's the large can. This is my favorite haul. And that was 25 cents a can. And they probably had a dozen on the shelf, and I put all of them in my cart. We've got some chocolate swirl coffee cake mix for 50 cents. Some some Great Value brand yellow mustard for 25 cents. A box of cinnamon sugar cookie coffee. It's the 24 K-cup style for $1.64, and it normally goes for $13.14. And I've got a bottle of sriracha for $1. So if you keep a keen eye when you get into the grocery store, you can save a lot of money on your groceries. Just make sure that it's something that you will be using and not spending money on something that's probably just going to sit on your shelf and expire and never gets used.